Testing 1, 2. All right. Echo. Echoplex. This is H Wolf 3, and we are back with another episode of The Truth Hurts. And joining me is none other than the man of the hour, the man with the power, Roman Claude Rankin. I'm gonna put up a picture of him. There he is. Let me move over. All right. Claude, you're live. Your picture's up. What's going on?
Oh man, I don't want these people to see me live. Then they might try to get me in real life.
They already know what you look like, so don't worry about it. They already know what you look like. The key thing is you're under witness protection, so
you know who I am? They let you know who I am.
Yeah, they already know, so don't worry about it. Oops, let me do another. Where is it? There we go. All right, got your moniker up here. Truth Hurts, Roman Claude Rankin. All right, so we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another episode, and we got a lot to go over. Today, we're going to be covering the topics of, I don't know where to start. We got so much to cover, but we're going to start out with transgenders just got booted out of women's sports.
They should have never been in.
Well, we're going to get to that. They never, right, I agree. They never should have been it, but we're going to get into that, what happened, why that occurred. Then we're going to go into some Lions highlights. We're going to go into the Pistons highlight, but more importantly, we're going to talk about the slide. The NBA has been on I've been hearing about this for a while now, but I had no idea it was this bad. You know, the media likes to sensationalize stuff, and I thought they were just blowing something out of proportion, but the basketball ratings are down, they say 48%, close to 50%.
LeBron James turned into it. I said, since they took LeBron James turned into it, I went on to watch it.
That definitely didn't help. But we're going to be talking about all of that, those factors that help it go into a decline. And yes, LeBron, Adam Silver, the commissioner, and there's some other factors too. But then we're going to segue into the Pistons, our Detroit Pistons. They actually won a game last night and won it in convincing fashion against a good team, the Phoenix Suns. So we're going to see. Now, don't get us wrong; they're not perfect. They're kind of inconsistent, but we're going to try to keep it positive and see what's going on why they're more successful this year. Actually, they're a lot more successful because I think they just matched their win total for all of 2023-4, which was 12 games, which is nothing to write home about. What were you going to say, Claude?
I said 6 games and 12.
They won 12 games. Their record now is 12-17.
Wow.
I know.
What was like?
I think it was 12 and subtract 12 from 82. What's that? 70 or something? No, I'm wrong. Whatever it is, it was bad. Bad. They set a franchise record for utility. All right. Let's get in the first thing, which is the transgender mess. Thank God that's over. A lot of it has to do with let's look at this real quick. I got a video from a channel called and we've used some of their material before on YouTube called Black and White Sports. So they have an analysis of exactly what happened. I'm not going to play all of it, but just enough to find out what turned the tide for good, because this was a situation that had really got out of control. Women were suing the NCAA. Women's volleyball, San Jose State had a transgender player. What was her name? Blair Fleming. They were.
I thought it was I thought you were talking about the basketball player. That went to that was on the Phoenix Mercury. That was
no, not Brittany Griner. No. Talking about we're talking more so. Well, actually, we're talking about all of it, but we're zooming in on the NCAA because it was guys that were declaring themselves women and literally playing on these teams, and it was causing havoc, chaos. Teams were forfeiting games. Women was getting hurt. Did we talk about the thing in the Olympics where the woman got her nose broke?
Yeah.
In the boxing.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna go through it again.
Let me put it out there. Point blank. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. This is if I sound offended, I don't mean it. If you got a thing down between your legs, don't fight women.
Well, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna play this clip though. Wait a minute. We're gonna play this clip. I know you're chomping at the bit. Hold on. We're gonna play this clip and see what happened that has finally put women, these transgender, these guys declaring they're women and waking up one day saying, I want to play with the fellow girls. We're going to see what changed the whole situation, and now they will not be no longer in these sports. So stand by.
Our truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys. We won. We have now defeated Joe Biden, guys. As you guys know, the progressives in the Democratic Party, man, their woke agenda was roundly defeated on November 5th. The progressive left wants men identifying as women and invading women's sports. And Joe Biden, who's not in control, by the way, he has now admitted defeat. Remember, he actually wanted to change Title IX to include gender identity. So if you are a male and you decide, you know what, I feel like a female, I want to play female sports. If they amended Title IX, that was the end of women's sports. No man should be playing in women's sports. It's for women. And anytime there's an open division or something like that where transgenders can actually compete against themselves, they don't want to do that. They want to compete against the women. Now, the Supreme Court had already said that Joe Biden amending Title IX was illegal. But we have actually seen Joe Biden actually ignore the Supreme Court. He's went against them. But in this case, guys, he has completely backed down. And I believe that with Trump coming in and a resounding victory, Joe Biden knew that he could do nothing with this. Donald Trump has already vowed to actually end the invasion of men in women's sports. And it needs to end. This is huge news right here, guys. Very, very huge news. And also, by the way, we've also seen women wake up, step up to the plate, and actually reject men coming into their sport. We already talked about San Jose State. Schools actually forfeited against them because they did not want to play against a male. It says here, Biden administration backs.
Okay. I'm going to stop it there. So that's what happened, Claude. What's your thought? Now you get to go off. What's your thoughts about that?
Like I was saying before, like I was saying, if you're a man want to wake up and say you're a woman, hey, it's cool. But keep to yourself. I don't want to see you on. I don't want to see you going into the women's restroom saying you're a woman one day, because it ain't gonna be pretty. I just say it ain't gonna be pretty. I'm pointing back that it's not gonna be pretty.
You sound like Bernie Mac gonna be some trouble.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be pretty. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying it. I'm saying it up front. It ain't gonna be pretty.
All right. Well, that's Claude's.
I ain't Bernie Mac, but I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be pretty. When I see it, I'm like, dude, take it.
All right. Well, that's Claude's take, and my take is similar. We don't need Joanna men in women's sports. We don't need Joanna men in women's sports. That's my opinion. That's Claude's too. We're definitely in agreement on that. And that's the black and white sports take on it. And we're in agreement with it. And apparently a lot of other people are in agreement too, because they finally said enough is enough. Women had gotten injured. Women had lost scholarships because of this. Biological women. And then the whole idea of, you got a daughter playing, I'm looking at it from a parental point of view. You got a daughter playing in a sport, and some man that identifies as a woman comes in, and he's amongst your daughters in the locker room. That's scary. That's a scary thing, man. That's a scary thing, because there have been cases, and I think we've talked about this before, where some guys did that were declared themselves women and that were getting convicted of crimes. Went into the women, they like foolishly put them in the women's prison, and they proceeded to knock up fellow female inmates and guards in some cases. Did we ever talk about that, Claude?
We talked about it. Yeah, we did. Well, go ahead. We can do it again.
No. I just wanted to mention that those are all the types of things that can happen in these types of scenarios. Then you got the physical difference. The fact that the scientific, I'm not going by opinion, but scientific fact that men, body mass and strength-wise, are stronger than women, and most women, and that's why there is a separate sport to begin with. Because if they was equal, you could just put them all together, and there wouldn't be no problem. Some things are just basic common sense and sanity, but the world has a lack of that at the moment. Now, what we about to say?
No problem. But, these people don't think that way. They don't think that way now.
No.
2025 is going to be a whole new thing now.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. What you about to say?
2025 is going to be a whole new outlet of personality. It wasn't thinking now. They wasn't thinking before. They gonna be thinking now. They can just walk in any other place, just go in any other restaurant, man or woman restaurant, and think it's all good. Not in my vocabulary. You don't get. If you're a man going to a woman's restaurant, you don't want to see me. Like,
Cuz I'm gonna do something about this. Don't go in there after them.
Yeah, they do.
Wait till they come out. Check them. Yeah, it's a daunting situation. One of the things that has happened that they made bathrooms unisex. Not everywhere, but I particularly see it when I'm out on the road. I'm out on the road quite a bit, driving professionally, and a lot of places is just one bathroom called unisex. And my whole thing is, hey, you just go in one at a time and come out, and that's all you can do.
And then they don't like to flush the toilet. I'm like, real, hey, this out this.
All right, that's too much information.
I'm sorry for that.
All right, that's too much information, Claude. All right. Now let's real quick. We're gonna back this up with some receipts, with some scriptures. Why this is not right in God's sight? Because at the end of the day, He's the boss. He created male and female. He created for them with a purpose, which was to be fruitful and multiply, meaning procreate and replenish the human race. Now, obviously, some people don't want that, which is pretty warped. But hey, you always gonna have the children. But I'm gonna stop there. Let's read the scriptures right quick. In 1 Corinthians chapter 14, 33rd verse, in the King James Version, it says, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints." My boy made that writing tiny. And then finally, Deuteronomy 22:5. This is all from the King James Version. "The woman shall not wear what pertaineth unto the man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God." That is not something that has been amended for 2024 or 25. That's still in place. So when a man makes up in his mind becomes delusional. He says, "Well, I feel I'm a woman today." And he goes in the closet and gets out his wife's pumps or his daughter. I don't know what the scenario. And he decides he want to be a woman or a sister and start dressing like that, putting on makeup and lipstick and all that stuff. And I'm not talking about nobody that had no sex change. I'm just talking about somebody talking about they're a woman. That's what Joe Biden, the president of the United States, that's what he was trying to do for people like that. No, I don't.
He's always now. So he's halfway. He's always almost in senior citizen for a while. I'm sure I should paying president. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? I saw a prophecy from Apostle Jennings that said he was going to be smitten, meaning he was going to suffer a ailment. And I think that's exactly what happened. That senility really kicked in. He was already on a decline. And it came through in the debate with Trump. So what we talked about the previous episode, Claude, about how the Democrat,
With him being old?
Right. Well, it was more than old. It was like he was suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's or something, the onset of that. But it really started showing during the debate. So you notice when we talked about this in the previous episode about how the Democratic Party is broken into different factions, they use that as an excuse to push him out of the nomination and put in Kamala Harris. Yeah, she got pretty much wiped out. But And so those are the truth hurts facts. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just how it went down. They made that decision, and it blew up. And it blew up in their face. Now, am I saying they should have stuck with Biden? Not necessarily, but you should have tried to get the best possible candidate to replace him. They bypassed all that because there wasn't enough time left to do all of that. So they just threw Kamala in there. As Claude said, he got a Giants' daughter. That's an in joke. That Kamala Harris. Okay, what was his name? Real name Harris, something Harris.
James Harris.
James Harris, a wrestler. Ring name was Kamala. So that's why we say that. That's an in joke for us. But anyway, we apologize to Kamala Harris, wherever she's at. Licking her wound. So anyway, that's it with it. He tried to change Title IX. It blew up in his face, and it's over. LPGA, Ladies Pro Golf Association, I think we talked about this. They already said no more transgenders. Forget it. It ain't gonna happen. They screamed, had a fit, but they said nope, not gonna do it. And so thus the saga comes to an end. You either in the U.S. sports from going forward, you either gonna be a real male or a real woman. Ain't gonna be no in between no more. And to that we say, yay. Moving on. Any closing remarks about this, Claude?
We got nothing to tell right now, so I'm on somebody else here right
now. No, Claude is on a roll tonight, folks. Look out. All right, here we go. Moving on to the next topic. Let's go to... Well, we'll do something a little less controversial. We'll talk about the Lions. Well, it happened today, actually. They won their 13th game. They defeated the Bears. They defeated them. What was the final score? 34-17?
Yes.
I think so.
I think it was 34. Yes. Yeah, I think so. Actually, yeah, 34-17.
Yeah. So we're going to play a couple of quick highlights. We ain't trying to get in trouble with the NFL. So we're going to play a couple of quick highlights of the game, and then we're going to talk about it. So stand by.
Don't dance in the backfield at that running back spot.
Goff on first down, firing downfield for Williams. He's got it! Jameson Williams into the end zone, touchdown, 82 yards.
Jameson Williams is ridiculously fast, and there's Tyreek Stevenson. He's playing off man. Jonathan Owens, they both underestimate how fast Jameson Williams is. They are very impressive, man. Look at the way that they have just pounced on the Bears today, 20-0 in the first half.
Flag on the play as the catch is made by Odunze.
And you say, well, there's a lot of things, or just a play away here or there, but it's not getting corrected. That's not good.
Williams back across the field. Catch made by Swift. Stays on his feet. Good second effort by DeAndre Swift. Takes it to the Lions 45. Fourth down and 3. Williams stands in the pocket. Throws, and it is caught by Odunze.
Very, very big focal point for him. He wants to make sure he always keeps his team in the game.
There's DJ Moore. Picks up a first down. Right, he said no turnovers. Now they have turned it over twice today. Chris Glazer in as an extra blocker on third down. Williams, end zone, touchdown. Cole Kmet.
You're going to see the coverage from Ezekiel Turner. He's supposed to have him. His eyes are in the backfield. Cole Kmet.
All right. I didn't mean to show all of those Bears highlights, but the play I wanted to show first was golf to Jameson Williams, J-Mo. That was a beautiful pass and a beautiful catch. Did you see that play, Claude?
Yes, I did.
That was something else. Let me see if I can. I apologize for showing all them Bears highlights. Let me see if I can find another one right quick, y'all. All right, stand by. Going back to the Lions highlights.
Pass complete. Jameson Williams inside the 10, down to the 5. Another Lions first. From the 8, empty backfield, third down. Pass is caught by St. Brown. Works his way inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Watch the blocking. Tim Patrick gets a nice block on Kyler Gordon. The offensive line get out there. Taylor Decker puts a hit on Jonathan Owens. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's just following his blockers, keeps 2 hands on the football, gets in for the touchdown.
Oops. I wasn't back yet. So that was a play, golf to Amon St. Brown for a touchdown. I don't know how many touchdowns that man has this year. But him, Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery, they just shattered a bunch of Lions records. It's pretty impressive. And golf. I want to see if I can find the one. Now this was, if I can find this thing. It's a play where golf stumbles. Did you see that one?
I did.
But it was supposedly planned. Let me see if I can find it. Stand by, y'all.
Megan, we see it. It just doesn't get a lot of love on TV, but we see how valuable he is.
Now Reynolds on 2nd and 3 picks up a Lions first. 4th down and 3. Goff over the middle. It's incomplete. No flags. Edwards defending. Pass intended for St. Brown. Ready, throw. Say.
You have Jamal
down. Picks off.
When he goes in motion.
Keenan Allen.
I don't want to waste a lot of time. But there was a play where Goff stumbled. And I think he threw a touchdown pass. I apologize, y'all. I have to go back and look it up. But they said that was part of the play. I was like, what? I said, I've never seen that before. What'd you say, Claude?
I said, not to get injured. That's part of the play. But just to stumble.
Right.
Stumble like that.
Are you sure you didn't really stumble and now you just playing it off? I don't know. The world may never know, but they claim that was part of the play. But I think they got a touchdown out of it.
Players mess up. Yeah, players mess up. Yeah. But not like that. I'll make an excuse for them. My fault. I don't jump on his feet.
Right. There was a show way back in the 1960s called Get Smart about a bumbling spy named Maxwell Smart, and he would fall down and then he'd get up and play it off. I don't know, the world may never know, but they claim that was part of the play, which I found hilarious.
I thought it was the person that I don't want to mention that person's name. So I thought we had a couple people that used to be I can't even mention that person's name because I don't want to be framed for being rude and cold. Everybody this person used to fall being that.
He used to fall for anything, including the okie doke. I think I know who you're talking about, but they will remain nameless.
Yeah.
The names are changed to protect the uninnocent. But okay. So there you go. There are some Lions highlights. I apologize for not being able to follow. Not follow, but find the one where golf stumbled because it's on there. If I can go back later in the show and find it, I'll do it. All right, moving on. So, in conclusion, Lions are now 13-2. They've never in their franchise history, including when they won the championship way back in 1957, have they ever won 13 games. So that was a first that they achieved today. So they bounced back after a loss from the Bills last week, and even more significant, the Eagles lost. The Eagles was right on their tail, and I saw the end of that game. They lost to the Commanders, soon to be the Redskins again. Washington so-called Commanders. They lost to them on a last-minute drive, which was a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful. So the Eagles have landed back to earth. They failed today. I can't remember the exact score. It was a high score. Might have been 43-34, something along them lines. But that was a beautiful thing. Oh, and what I was alluding to with the Washington, you may not have heard of this. I think they're going back to the Redskins. Again.
Like these, they gonna start with the Redskins stuff, the new team stuff. Another team they gonna become. It's gonna be a bad.
Well, you know what? You know what though? Believe it or not, they're 9-5? They have a pretty good record this year, shockingly. But wait, this is where it gets really good. Guess who protested and wanted them to change the names back to the Redskins? No, not Deion, not Neon Deion. It was the Native Americans, quote unquote Indians. Yeah, they was ticked. So the people that supposedly the woke mob wanted to, they claimed they were disrespecting. They demanded that they change it back to the Redskins. Ain't that something?
What you want? You want to have to this?
No. Wait a minute. That's the point, Claude. That's the point. It wasn't them behind it. It was all this woke stuff. BLM stuff. I'm not saying BLM. BLM might have been involved. Black Lives Matter. I don't know. But all this whole woke movement, they were behind that name change, pressuring the owner to change it. It wasn't the actual Native Americans. Same with the what are they called now? Cleveland Indians changed the name. What is it now? Cleveland Conquistadors, something stupid. Make up your mind. What do you want to call yourself? What next? The Lions? That's that's offensive to Lion clubs. What do you want?
How many you want me to call Circle of Life? You got a new movie out called
Mufasa.
Mufasa Junior or something. Y'all want me to call Mufasa?
Don't refer to him as a lion. That's discriminatory. I don't know what's going on. These people are going off the deep end. So anyway, that's a side note. That wasn't a topic, but I had to throw that in there once I brought them up. Okay, moving on so we don't take all the time in the world. Now we get to some real good stuff before we get to the main topic. The NBA. Now you talk about woke.
Which one you want to talk about? We go.
Oh man, we're gonna have a field day. First, we're gonna look at. Let's start with the Pistons. Pistons are 12-17. They just got through beating the Phoenix Suns last night. So, do you believe that? So, something just fell in the other room, and I'm like, what is this? Ghosts in there? Anyway, they beat the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix.
And we never seen that happen.
Oh, that's rare. Now, Devin Booker wasn't playing, but Kevin Durant was healthy, and he scored 43, and they still beat him.
As an ox. What? As an ox.
Healthy as an ox. Anyway.
Yeah.
And still lost. Now, Cade Cunningham, I believe he had 28, and he was killing them. Everybody had pretty much a good game. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a good game. But Tim Hardaway has been under attack because he had a stretch where he was, a little off with his shooting. But the man literally helped them win a game against Miami. But what happened, they played a game with Miami about a week or so ago, Miami Heat, a week or so, and they beat the Miami Heat. And they went to overtime in the game, and Tim Hardaway knocked down 2 threes in overtime, which got the Pistons back in the game, and then I think Cade finished it off, if my memory serves me correctly, but correct me if I'm wrong. So the point of the matter is this. In the previous game with the Heat, Tim Hardaway Jr., THJ as they call him, almost got knocked out cold by the bionic elbow of Bam Adebayo. He bammed him all right. And somebody else hit him on the same play. And I believe he might have had a concussion. So he sat out, I think, a game or two. And he came back and he had to get his stroke back. But then they started talking yin-yang. Dallas fans started talking trash. See, that's why we got rid of him. He's a bum and all this. I'm like, you know what? He was too good for you as far as I'm concerned. He was too good for you. So we'll see how things turn out. But I personally like what he's done for the Pistons. As well as Tobias Harris, who just came back from an injury as well. And also Jay Ivey. Jay Ivey had a great game. So we're going to look at a couple of quick highlights. Any comments before we see some of the highlights, Claude?
No, y'all go ahead and talk about what happened.
All right, stand by. Here are some of the highlights.
Cade Cunningham shut down. putting up massive numbers this season. Bangs into Nurkic. Contact and bucket for Cade Cunningham. Oklahoma State, the #1 overall pick in 2021.
Well, you don't put too much credence in exhibition games, but at this level, if they play hard, they're going to be a problem. They're going to make you work. Suns just have to match that intensity.
Cade with the crush. Right down the lane. Cunningham averaging 24 points, 7 rebounds, and almost 10 assists per game. If he keeps that up, he's going to bypass Isaiah Thomas for most assists in a season. There it is. The alley-oop now to Jalen Duren. Tobias Harris, the veteran, inside another stuff. Going to have to put a body on Jalen Duren.
Yeah, they get out in open court. I mean, they can.
Tobias Harris has already picked up 2 personal fouls. Cunningham. Great all over by Royce O'Neal. Quick closeout by Beal. Should be penalties for those as well. Cade Cunningham lets it fly. And then tipped away from Nurkic. It was Ivy setting up Duren. See the frustration on Nurk's face. Ivy. Out to Hardaway Jr. Got to keep an eye on him. Open 3. Timeout, Coach Bud.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. And then I'm going to skip to near the end of the game. That last shot was a 3 by Tim Hardaway Jr., the guy that they were trying to dog out. Now, I'm about to put on near the end of the game where the score is 122 to 119. And we're going to see how the game clears out. The Pistons had the Suns down by a big margin, and the Suns roared back and were trying to tie the game to force it into overtime. All right, stand by.
Another 41-point game for Kevin Durant against the Pistons. From the corner, it's Beasley. Fontecchio dribble off some seconds. Shot clock at 5 for Cunningham. Launches a 3, straight and sweet for Cade Cunningham.
Well,
Cade Cunningham hit a 3 and iced the game and broke the Suns' heart. Again. So Cade Cunningham has blossomed into he already was a star, but he's now unquestionably an all-star, as they try to market you as a so-called superstar. Yada yada. You know, we're not into all that. You're just a very, very good player. So he's doing his thing. I really have no complaints up and down the lineup. Duren is a little bit on the fragile side. If he can get past getting injured a lot, because he seems to have a lot of trouble with sprained ankles, he'll be continue to be a force. Right now, Isaiah Stewart is out, and thankfully, I don't know. I can't remember what his injury is. I think it's don't quote me, but I think it's a knee injury. I'm sorry, what?
Say better on the video game than does during the regular season.
What?
I'm sorry. I apologize to the real Isaiah, a.k.a.
Don't get him mad, because you know what happened when Bron smacked him and busted him open?
Yeah.
He almost tore half the arena down. Get to him. What'd you say?
Yeah. He says better on the video game than regular life.
Didn't I tell you to stop that? You try to get us in trouble. You better hope and pray you don't find out where you are. Anyway, we're joking, of course, but in all seriousness, Pistons are improved. They're learning how to win, not only against good teams, but in high-pressure situations, something that's been greatly lacking the last several seasons. So they're slowly turning the culture around from losing to winning. But it takes time because when you lose the amount of games they lost, you need a rebirth, transformation. And the veterans they brought in, Malik Beasley, who's been terrific, Tim Hardaway Jr., and of course Tobias Harris, have really improved them. What's your analysis, Claude?
Well, this is a new team, so I got to see what they do with my All-Star break.
Okay, well, Claude's still on the fence. He's still trying to see, how it's going to pan out. But I've had an opportunity to see a lot of their highlights, not the actual games, but the compilation of the games, the highlights, and they are vastly improved over last year. It's not even any comparison. It's not any comparison. Also forgot to mention Paul Reed, the backup center. They released him, but they re-signed him and saved some money in the process. So he's been doing an adequate job. He's pretty much a role player, but he's been decent. The rookie they drafted, fifth pick, Ron Holland the third, he shows a lot of potential. And last but not least, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What about the other one that's injury prone? What about injury prone, man? Mr. Injury prone.
Stop it. You talking about Asar Thompson?
Yeah.
He's back. He's back, and he actually had an excellent game the other night. He had 19. I think that was a game against the Heat. See, he's not. I don't think he's starting, but he started that particular game, and I think he had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 7, 8 rebounds. Had an excellent game, but right now they're not rushing him back from the standpoint of, you back in the starting lineup. No, they were letting him. He missed almost 2 months to start the season, so bringing him back gradually. But so far, so good with him. So they're almost back to full strength. That's the good news. All right, now we get into the good stuff, really good stuff. Pistons back in the day, and we talking about a long time ago. You got to go back to when they were the Going to Work crew, or the Bad Boys 2 crew that won the championship in 2004. Those were some of the last years you could see them on free TV. Meaning if you had a digital box, you could turn to a channel like Channel 20, or we're talking about local folks. We're talking about local Detroit stuff for those who are not familiar. But you could watch them. Game wasn't blacked out as they used to call it. They don't call it that anymore. Now it's like trying to watch the Pistons like finding a needle in a haystack. Where do you can't even find them on the radio anymore. Now we know they've been terrible over the. I'm sorry, what was that, Claude?
Radio?
Did you say radio?
Yeah.
You can't even find them on radio anymore. They used to come on 97.1. They chose to put on the Wings games, Red Wings, the hockey team.
I don't even want to see the Red Wings game. The day that I will wear a Red Wings jersey, pigs will fly.
He said pigs will fly. All right, let's start growing them wings. Anyway, the Red Wings on the pig. They used to broadcast the games on WWJ 95 AM. Can't find them there. So I don't think they're on any type of radio anymore. Now, we're leading up to the decline of the NBA, so bear with us. So, where do you find the Pistons? They used to come on, what they call it, Bally Sports, Claude. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
And now, does that channel even exist? Because I heard they went out of business.
Nope.
Bally Sports Detroit, I think that was what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Claude said it doesn't exist. I don't have it, so I wouldn't know. Or I could try to find it. I'm sorry, what?
It ain't even working now. It ain't even working now.
Wait, it gets worse. Wait. So, when you go on the internet and it says, we find ways to watch the Pistons. So, I think they mentioned YouTube TV, which is a subscription. And I think they say, we're getting to that. Then I thought I saw NBA TV as a possible way to see him. But wait a minute, this is really just hilarious. Then I saw something that says get a VPN. Now, a person might say, what the heck is a VPN? It's called a virtual private network. I'm like, what? Now, the reason why I'm familiar with that is because I studied IT, information technology, at Focus Hope, and graduated, might I add. Praise the Lord. But my point is, a VPN, are you serious to get a VPN is a monthly fee? I think it's like $19 a month.
For what?
For like this, like a network to be on the internet, but the network is secured. So meaning it's a private network and it's less vulnerable to like from what they call it, cyber criminals. But my point is this: who want to go through all that to see a Pistons game? Are you kidding me? What? Are you serious? When I saw that, I almost fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. Are you serious? Virtual private network? Why don't you just put the games on TV for free? But what was his name? John Reigns, not Roman Reigns. What was his name on the Rush Hour 2?
Ricky Reigns.
No, that was Ricky. No, Ricky Tan. That was Ricky Tan. Was it John Reigns? Anyway, he said, greed will imprison us all. He was talking about the Pistons because they have not had free broadcast in 2 decades. Now, it will be 04. It'll be 03-04 season. I remember distinctly when they stopped them. I remember, and after that, you had to pay a subscription or whatever. Back then, it was just cable. But now, of course, everything has gone to streaming. Cable has gone the way of the dinosaur. So let's look into the bigger picture, which is the NBA itself. It's not just what I found out is just not the Pistons, Claude, and viewers. It's the whole NBA is having this problem. People can't find games to watch. Something is wrong. and did you say wrong? And then the ratings are down significantly. Now, real quick before we get into this video. I'm sorry, what?
I said, since they put LeBron James Jr. in the NBA, and that was the straight of the whole show. NBA, LeBron James said he won't play unless his son plays.
Lord have mercy. Did he say that? Did he really say that?
He might as well have.
He might as well have. You're right. He did extort the Lakers in the draft than his son. You're right. You're right in a lot of ways. And Bron is the type, if he can't get his way, if things ain't going his way, he'll bail. And see, that's a turnoff. But it goes even deeper than that. They said the ratings have been on the slide since 2012, and they really went off a cliff during 2020 during the pandemic year when they played in the so-called bubble.
We call it the LeBron James era. The LeBron James trophy.
The LeBron James trophy, when they gave the Lakers a fake trophy playing in a bubble. I'm like, are y'all serious? So let's look at this real quick. I got a video. I can find it. And they're going to talk about some of the reasons why the NBA has been in decline. And this is from a guy who loves the NBA. So just so you let you know, we're not saying this to, just trying to be biased on our own opinion. This is all over the internet. Now, the mainstream media, of course, they don't want to talk about it, of course, because that's their cash cow. But the podcasters and people like that, Kyle, did you say Kyle? Kyle got to bring some milk. So let's look at this right quick, and then we're going to talk about it. So stand by. This is a show called Hoop Reports, and it's a YouTube channel. Stand by.
So you don't even get all the games.
You don't even get the games in your own city.
Yeah, you don't get the Laker game.
Yeah.
On the floor. Technical foul, Luka.
He waved him off.
Appears that way. And somebody else, or is it Udoka out?
And Westbrook sneaks inside. 7 for Westbrook. Technical foul on Westbrook.
Have you ever watched a game where an NBA player just gives another a simple glare and boom, they're slapped with a technical foul? Or how about a player clapping in frustration only to get hit with a tech?
Oh, yeah. He really upset himself. Call for technical.
It's crazy to think, but stuff like this is actually happening in the NBA right now.
Turnaround jumper, foul Morant. And John's got to watch his reaction. He already is sitting on one technical foul. He's got ejected.
I get it, this is basketball, not WWE. But the NBA and its referees have gotten so soft that even the slightest hints of drama get shut down with a whistle. And honestly, this is just one of the reasons viewership is dropping. Because here's the thing, drama sells.
Pretty play, a 9-1 run Minnesota.
Oh, come on, man. No way.
Take the UFC, for example. When Conor McGregor was in his prime and gearing up to fight Floyd Mayweather, the drama was off the charts. I mean, those press conferences alone were pulling in more views than some NBA Finals games. Don't believe me? Check this out. The Toronto press conference for Mayweather versus McGregor racked up 8.4 million views on YouTube alone. Now, compare that to the 2020 NBA Bubble Finals, which averaged just 7.4 million viewers. That's the power of drama, and yet the NBA wants no part of it. For example, Giannis got a technical here for simply looking at Al Horford after a dunk. Jason Tatum got hit with one here for just hanging on the rim after making a big play. And then here's Jokic, the league's best player, getting ejected over, well, basically nothing.
This will be a technical.
Oh, they threw Jokic out of the game.
I get that the NBA wants to avoid another Malice in the Palace incident, but this complete lack of drama and technical fouls at every corner is turning fans away. Bulls fans booing the refs for ejecting Jokic shows how bad of a call it is. My dad took my 9-year-old nephew to his first basketball game, and his favorite player got ejected early in the third for nothing. This is absolutely disgusting.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there. Echoplex. So what do you think of that, Claude? They showed a clip. You couldn't see it because you're on speaker. But they showed a clip where Cade Cunningham got ejected from a game where after he had dunked, and all he did was point. I mean, these referees could, huh?
That's like when Claude hit
McCarty.
McCarty in the face.
Uh-huh.
Everything on havoc ran through Detroit. It's all over.
Right.
Red Wing, flashback. Go ahead.
Oh Lord. Okay. That's this man right here, not me. I'm pointing at you on the screen. Anyway, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The whole soft thing, ooh, you can't look at me hard, or I'm gonna give you a technical or throw you out the game. That's just one of the absurdities. The other one is something called load management, where a player like Joel Embiid will rest for weeks at a time because he's allegedly hurt, but they're trying to preserve him for the playoffs. Who said you're going to even make the playoffs? We're talking about Philadelphia 76ers.
That's like LeBron James syndrome.
Yeah, he used to do that. He kind of cut that out. I think he saw so much flack, he cut it out. But last but not least, those are just a couple of things. We named, you can't find NBA games to even watch. When the old saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. How they made the game, sissified the game, made it soft. But the worst one is the wokeness, the political. When the NBA got into politics, you under David Stern back in the day, and I'm not saying I'm a David Stern lover because I'm not, but I can't argue with the man's success when he was the commissioner, when he was the commish. And he made them a worldwide NBA, a worldwide powerhouse. But what happened, the NBA, because they started going heavy into all these other countries, particularly China and Europe and all these places, the players, to appease these communist countries and stuff, they would take anti-American positions. And it really got bad during the Black Lives Matter thing, after the George Floyd thing, and they put Black Lives Matter on the courts in the bubble, and the players kneeled and all this junk that Bron probably suggested. Because he's always trying to make some political statement. And that thing backfired bad, and they actually lost a lot of their viewership out of that. That's something they don't, well, let me rephrase that. They're finally admitting it now, how big a mistake it was, but yet they're still doing it. Not as bad as they used to be, but they're still doing it. So those are the reasons why the NBA has been in decline. Now, coming from somebody who's state of the art when it comes to looking at shows, Claude, what is your analysis of that?
I think the NBA is going to be rigged to the end of time.
You say it's going to be rigged?
Yeah. You can't. There's no word saying that.
Well, I would agree. I would agree with you. It's a certain amount of rigging done in sports because they want certain franchises to win and be popular, particularly in big markets like Boston, New York. Although they can't seem to help New York at all, but especially La La Land, because Lakers and Boston, between the two of them, they have more championships than everybody else combined. So naturally, they tend to want to see those franchises do good. But LeBron James, they can't seem to rig things enough to get this guy over anymore. So what they'll do is move him to another team that they think's going to win. And even that hasn't been working.
Okay, win with your own son. Your son has to go to a G League, score 50, 30 points, and still lost. He weren't lost.
Right. Yeah, that's it's something else. Go ahead.
How you gonna lose scoring 30? Scoring 30.
It's a good question. These are good questions. What was a guy who was drafted that not that he was drafted in the top 10, don't get me wrong, but the fact he was drafted at all. What's he doing in the G League? I mean, don't get me wrong, it happens, but they tried to put him on the main team. It was all a stunt. Bron and Bronny, his son, holding the Lakers hostage. You got to do this for me, and they did it. Now that they did it for him, it was talk he wanted to move to the Warriors.
They ain't gonna help you, and you gonna might as well take the money.
I don't know why.
We own you now. We own you, LeBron James, and we own LeBron James Jr. You keep your stuff. We own you now, LeBron. Own you.
Well, he doesn't look at it that way. He looks at it like I'm a king and I can do what I want to do, but all good things come to an end on this earthly realm. And you're not going to be on top forever. That's just not the way how it works. And soon, Father Time catch up with you, no matter what type of performance enhancement drugs you use or whatever. Now, that's allegedly. I don't know if the man has ever taken any steroids, but that was an accusation I heard recently.
I think LeBron has over the years.
You said his what?
His head is big.
You said
big swollen head. His head.
Oh, you was like the Barry Bonds syndrome?
Yeah, them steroids.
That's Claude's opinion. We don't.
He's not gonna say what I'm gonna say.
Well, I'm trying to protect you because unless you actually seen this man taking steroids, all of that is just speculation.
I ain't saying he takes steroids. I just said he takes it.
Yeah, okay.
LeBron got a big forehead too.
Are you done yet?
Oh no, I was just joking. I was just joking now.
Okay, so right, I'm trying to give you an out, but yeah, we don't know that. That's people who have allegedly have made those statements. We don't know that. We don't know that. Not making those accusations, and because supposedly the league has very strict anti-doping standards and yada yada, but you know how that goes. That's So I'm gonna stop there. So anyway, that is the decline of the NBA and the current state of the Pistons. Any parting shots, Claude, before we move on to the main event?
I'm gonna give him a break. I'm giving LeBron a break.
You gonna give Brown a break? That's very nice of you.
Unless he do something else, I will give him a break.
Okay, I hear you. Well, remember his quote: "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." So we'll see how that all shakes down.
Yeah, he's next. Party time.
Party time. Lord have mercy. All right, we'll keep it moving. Last but not least, we want to talk briefly about something that's very serious, actually. It's called World War III. Why do we want to talk about that? Are we trying to be pessimists? No, not at all. You said you already are? What'd you say? We're trying to keep it 100, trying to keep it real, because right now, it's not about will there be a World War III. We personally believe we're in it now. We're in World War III now. And it's pretty... I'm sorry, what?
I think when Trump gets in office, it's going to be World War III all over again.
I think we're already in it under Biden. Now, now here's the question. That's a good point, though. It's an excellent point. Will Trump escalate the situation or de-escalate? Meaning, will it ramp up even further under him, or will they be like, man, I don't want to test this guy. Let's just form a peace treaty and knock off. So, because they know how he is. So, let's examine what's going on right quick, and then we're going to draw a conclusion, and we'll wrap up. Folks, sorry, this is not a short show at all. But to make our points, we got to bring the receipts. All right, let's start with what's going on out here in the world. We have Russia versus Ukraine. Russia invaded Ukraine, trying to take back what they say was theirs, their territory, which Russia is very good for under Vladimir Putin. And the U.S. backed Ukraine and has been sending them everything short of troops, all types of weapons, everything to fight back. Because otherwise they would have been totally annihilated by now. So they've held their own, but the war is going on. I think the war is going on this, third year, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Forgive me, folks, because I can't give an exact quote. All right, let's move on. Then we have Israel versus Hamas. Hold on. Let's get a video for this to break it down. This is CBN. It's called A New Middle East, and it's from a show called Jerusalem Dateline. So I think it's a Jewish version of Dateline NBC. Right, I wasn't familiar with it either. All right, stand by, y'all. Let's see what this says, so we can help try to put this in perspective. Because when you're talking about a world war, that's complicated. It's hard to kind of just break that down. So stand by.
Coming up on Jerusalem Dateline, a new Middle East emerging after Israel's victories over Hamas and Hezbollah. Plus, Sharia law looming in Syria, according to its new leader, Mohammed al-Julani, and holding the line for democracy. Taiwan standing firm in the face of the Chinese military threat, and helping broken hearts heal. Vastly different people gather on a farm to show support for Israel. All this and more coming up on this edition of Jerusalem Dateline. Hello and welcome to this edition of Jerusalem Dateline. I'm Chris Mitchell. In recent weeks, it seems like changes have been coming in the Middle East at lightning speed. Israel's security goals may not have been fully achieved yet, but according to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel is changing the Middle East. Here's the latest. In his Sunday announcement, Netanyahu said he and Trump discussed the need to complete Israel's victory and declared it's a new Middle East.
A year ago, I said something simple. We would change the face of the Middle East, and we're indeed doing so. Syria is not the same Syria. Lebanon is not the same Lebanon. Gaza is not the same Gaza. And the head of the axis, Iran, is not the same Iran. It has also felt the might of our arm.
The Security Cabinet also met to discuss the next steps in Israel's multi-front war, including stopping Iranian armed shipments through Syria. After the fall of the Assad regime, the Russians are pulling out of their bases. While Netanyahu says Israel has no interest in confronting Syria, the IDF is increasing its presence in the Golan Heights and systematically destroying Syria's military infrastructure.
I remind you that for decades, Syria was an active enemy state to Israel. It attacked us again and again. It allowed others to attack us from its territory. It allowed Iran to arm Hezbollah through its territory.
Netanyahu and Trump also discussed freedom for the hostages. Antony Blinken said the moment has come to find a solution.
So this is a moment to bring this to an end, and bring this to an end in a way that gets the hostages home and finally brings relief to people who suffered and continue to suffer every single day.
In Syria, the country's new leader, Mohammed al-Golani, declared his group will implement Sharia law and have a morality police.
The Ministry of Interior will have morality police led by clerics and mullahs.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. So you got a lot of situations going on. You got the war with Hamas with Israel started off when the Hamas attacked Israel in a surprise attack, and they killed men, women, and children. But then Israel just went berserk and counterattacked them, and they were just bombing hospitals, killing civilians. It's just been ugly. It's been terrible. Same with the situation over in Russia and Ukraine, and now China has joined in. It's called themselves helping Russia because they're allies. So it's shaping up like it was in World War II, where you had the Axis and the Allies against the Allies, the Axis power. But in this era, those countries would be different because Japan is not an enemy anymore; they're an ally. And
Allied powers.
You're part of the Allied powers. You notice how wrestling took all these different war conventions and put it in their storylines, New World Order and the Axis versus the Allied powers and all this other stuff. There was even a pay-per-view called World War III. I'm sorry, not World War. What was it called?
Yeah, World War III.
Was that the name of the pay-per-view? Yeah. I was right. So, that's what's going on. I'm leaving out a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of other conflicts going on. Some in Africa, in the Congo, let's call it the Congo area. There's wars, civil wars. Syria, is that video just mentioned, just failed its leader Assad. Stand by, y'all. I'm gonna pull up something real quick so I can at least. It was a civil war that had been going on since 2012, and so it's called I'm gonna read this from Wikipedia. It's called about the Assad government. The Syrian regional branch remained the dominant political. So I'm skipping over a lot of history because the Arab Socialist Ba'ath Party came into power through a coup d'etat in 1963 by overthrowing the Second Syrian Republic. That's a long time ago because that's about as old as I am. So this current leader, throwing myself under the bus with the age. But anyway, the guy who they just overthrew in the Civil War, which the video alluded to, had been in power. Let me read this right quick. The Syrian regional branch remained the dominant political authority in what had been a one-party state until the first multi-party election to the People's Council of Syria was held in 2012. I don't want to get into all that. This gets into the whole history. The bottom line is that the current Assad government under General Hafez al-Assad, who declared himself president in, he go back that far, 1971? Wow. He was overthrown. And he's fled. No, my fault. My bad. He died in 2000. The guy I just mentioned. His son, Bashar al-Assad, succeeded him as president of Syria. Now we're getting somewhere. And they're mainly our Muslim country. And if you're a Christian over there, you usually get persecuted. Not in all cases, but in a lot of cases. So anyway, it was him, the guy's son, Bashar al-Assad. He was the one just overthrown in the Civil War. And he's been granted asylum in Russia. I know, Claude, it's probably clear as mud. It's clear as mud. But there's a lot of stuff going on, man. And North Korea is involved. Russia is involved. And you can't make heads or tails of half of this stuff. But the U.S. is in the thick of things. And they're getting more deeply involved in it. Now, before I play this next video, did you hear about the drones?
We can talk about that off the on the phone about it.
Yeah, we were talking about that privately, about there were drones spotted all over the country. And they were, all types of conspiracies was going out that the government was flying them, looking for nuclear material that had come up missing. They were UFOs and aliens, and one Chris Christie, the ex-governor of New Jersey, the big man, he said it was one flying over his house, and Trump said he was probably delivering them fast food. I said that was a low blow, but only Trump would say stuff like that. Folks, I can't make this type of stuff up. But I got one last video play, and then we're going to break it down with scripture, and we're going to close. Wait a minute, I think I'm going to play one more video. Where is he? Hold on, y'all. All right, so one of the countries that's also fighting Israel, because Israel's fighting like several countries at once, with all these Arabic nations, not all of them, but many of them want to destroy Israel. So there's a group called the Houthi out of the country of Yemen that had been trying to attack Israel, or Israel either took the fight to them. And the U.S. has been engaging them directly, fighting them directly because they've been attacking cargo ships in the Red Sea. You heard of the Red Sea, the one that God's Bible says Moses divided, and the Israelites walked through it on dry land, that Red Sea. Okay, so that's been around a long time. So let's look at this video right quick. I'm not going to play all of it. It's from Fox News Live to show you that America is directly involved in this, indirectly and directly. So stand by.
Welcome back. I'm Austin Westfall. We're hearing of some breaking news coming out of the Middle East. U.S. CENTCOM saying on X that they've conducted airstrikes against Iran-backed Houthis. This is a missile storage and command control facility that they targeted in Yemen, belonging to the Houthis. CENTCOM saying that forces conducted precision airstrikes against a missile storage facility and a command and control facility operated by Iran-backed Houthis and Houthi-controlled territory in Yemen's capital. Now, CENTCOM forces say that they conducted the deliberate strikes to disrupt and degrade Houthi operations, such as attacks against U.S. Navy warships and merchant vessels in the southern Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. During the operation, CENTCOM says forces also shot down multiple Houthi one-way attack uncrewed aerial vehicles and an anti-ship cruise missile over the Red Sea.
So that's all I'm going to play of that. But you get the picture. The video, Claude, showed fighter jets taking off from aircraft carrier in the middle of the night and probably out somewhere in the Red Sea somewhere. So this thing, and you got to keep in mind, all of these countries are backed by somebody bigger. And usually it's going to be Russia. Okay, so we're in our opinion, we're already in World War III because we are directly fighting these people now, these different countries. Now, do you panic? Do you go underground? You start what they call it? You build a bomb shelter under your home. You start stocking up on like they did in 2000, water, and you remember that scare they had? They tried to scare people and made a mint of money and said, you said what? No, they were trying to scare people, period, back in 2000 when it went from 99 to 2000, when it went into the new millennium. They said the computers wasn't going to reset to zero and the computers were going to crash. Claude, you sounding muffled. Would you speak?
I thought the world was over here.
We're still here. And that's what and thank you for bringing that up, because that's exactly what we're about to talk about. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. Now, here we have some scriptures I'm about to put up. Now, for some, it's going to ease their mind, and for others, it's going to trouble them greatly. Let me see. No, not that. Well, we're going to look at the words of Jesus himself. This comes from St. Matthew 24th chapter, 4th chapter, 11th verse, King James Version. And Jesus said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. But, this is getting cut off for some bizarre reason. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why this is getting cut off, but that's not, as Carlito would say, that's not cool, man. But I'm going to leave it up there. I'm having a formatting issue. So I'm going to just go right to the book. I can click, Claude, speak up. I can barely hear you.
I said, sit in the face that people don't want to be fooled.
He said, no, don't spit in their face. All right, so Matthew 24th chapter. 24th chapter, 4th to 11th verse. Because I don't want this to be cut off. That's the devil being cut off. Here we go. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. 7th verse. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And that prophecy was done over 2,000 years ago, and every last one of these things has come true. Every last one of these things. Because that's the boss talking, Jesus. So he's going to be accurate. He's going to be accurate. So that's what we're dealing with. But he said, do not be troubled. Because these things must come to pass. Now, I'm going to put up another scripture. Hopefully this is more readable. And this is from the book of Jude. Now, this book is right before Revelation. And then we're going to read something from Revelation. Jude, 1st chapter, 14th verse. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So we have a situation where innocent men, women, and children are being annihilated because these greedy people want to make money by war. Because that's all it's really about. Everybody got enough land to live on. Now, in the case of the Israelis versus Arab, that's in the scriptures. That's the seed of Abraham's seed versus, Abraham's the father of two nations. Israel, Jacob became Israel, and Ishmael represents the Arabic world. So it was already prophesied they was going to be in conflict. Pardon me, I don't have those scriptures right in front of me, but you find them in the book of, I think, Genesis. And also, well, if you have a book of scriptures like I have, it's in the book of Jasher. That's not in the 66 book Bible. But it gives the whole history of how they have been at each other's throats since the beginning, since the very beginning. And so that's what's going on to this day. Did you know that, Claude, by the way?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, did you know about that? Yeah, and that deep, that conflict go back that far. From almost out the womb, they was at each other because
That's the Yeah.
Oh Lord, yeah, I would put it up there with that. And the reason why is because Sarah was, or Sarai, as she was also known, and then she became Sarah. The Lord named her, I believe that. Don't quote me, don't kill me. But she was Abraham's wife.
Yeah. I knew that part.
Wait. Yep, you're right. You're right on track. But Haggai, was that her name? She was her Sarah's slave, or yeah, basically. And she gave her to Abraham to have a child because she couldn't have a child. But God had already said she was going to have a child at her own age, but she got impatient. So once she had her child, which was Ishmael, she became jealous of her and threw her out. But the Lord said, I'm going to make a great nation of him. And they brought her back in, and the son. Because if it was up to Sarah, she would have died in the wilderness. So they've been beefing ever since then, at the gate. And that's how it came about. Now, last scripture I'm going to read from Revelation. We're about to wrap up. It's been a long show, but it's a great show. It says Revelation 21st chapter. We're going to look at the 3rd to the 4th verse and the 7th to the 8th. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he shall dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things have passed away. 7th verse. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be God, and he shall be my son. Hold on. Well, I'm going to keep reading. But, in the 8th verse, there's always a but to this. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. That's another name for hell. That's a description of hell. So what it's saying is that God himself will put an end to all of this madness, all these wars, all this destruction, all this annihilation. And those who are faithful to him will receive eternal life. Now, if you want to be on the Lord's side, you got to get with the right teaching and get baptized and all that great stuff the right way. And I recommend personally the Truth of God, and check out some of the videos on the Truth Hurts Facebook page, and you'll see that. Now that's my recommendation. Everybody got their own favorite false prophet they follow, T.D. Snakes, or what's his name, Jamal Bryant, Hypocrite Bryant. What's that other guy, Benny Hinn? We got all these popular preachers out here. And none of them teach what the scripture teach, which is to be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. So that's just one thing you got to do. But it's not just simply, on your deathbed, confess Christ. And no. That's the lie the devil tells to trick you. We talked about the time on one episode, Truth Hurts episode. What was that movie called? God is Not Dead. It was
which show is that, man? Which I know it ain't on YouTube, but what's the other on the computer program?
You said what's on the computer program, you said?
Yeah.
Are you talking about how you find that movie, or are you talking about what are you referencing?
I'm just saying movies like that.
Oh, you can find those movies on YouTube. You can find them on Amazon. Any decent sized streaming service would have it, because that was a movie distributed by. I don't think it was an independent movie. That was, if it was backed by a big distribution company. So it's not like it was some obscure movie, because they had more than one of them. Had God Is Not Dead, God Is Not Dead 2, God Is Not Dead 3. Yeah, we know. We know the Lord is not dead. That's really an ignorant title. But anyway, the point is, and I think it was the first one, and I went to the show and saw this. They showed this guy who was an atheist. It was played by Kevin Sorbo. Remember Hercules? He was this atheist. He didn't believe in God. He was like Elon Musk. And he was bullying this guy in his class. He was a college professor. So after making his life a living hell and saying, I don't believe in God, and they keep that trash out of my classroom, I'm no God here, and all this stuff. So at the end of the movie, spoiler alert in case you want to go see it, cut the stream off. But he gets hit by a car. So he's on the middle of the road, dying, about to take his last breath. So a so-called minister goes to him and says, "Oh, it's going to be okay." Starts stroking his forehead. "Oh, it's going to be all right. Just say, I believe in the Lord Jesus, and you'll be saved." So I'm like, what? No. You still going to hell. You still going to hell. It ain't that simple. And that's what is taught in a lot of churches. And that's just not accurate. So anyway, I'm not going to go down. Well, let me rephrase that. Let the preachers and the ministers deal with that. And I'm pointing you to a way I know that's the correct way to go. Somebody who would teach you correctly. That's the Truth of God Ministries, Apostle Geno Jennings. So I post their videos on our Facebook page all the time. So if you get a chance, check them out. It'll show you how to be baptized correctly and start you off on the correct journey. Because time is short. We don't know when we're gonna check out of here. Claude almost checked out of here once. I almost checked out of here once. And people check out of here all the time. Ricky Henderson just passed. All-time base stealing king in the MLB. So it don't matter what status in life you have, you're going to go down to the grave. Are you ready? That is the question, because if Russia and the U.S. get into some conflict and they start hurling what they call them ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, bombs at one another, and they are testing them, and ain't no telling what's got to go down. Only God himself is holding this thing together, because if it was left up to men, we would have annihilated each other already. So God is trying to give us a chance. So that's my commentary, or our commentary on World War III. Where you going to get this from on CNBC? No, they ain't going to talk about it from this angle. It's everybody just throw up their hand like, oh, well, they got to make their money, so war sells, war make money. No. You can't run around just murdering people and think you're going to get away with it. That ain't how life works. So anyway, that's my take on it. Claude, any parting thoughts, any shots about World War III? First of all, do you think we're in it or we're heading to it? Say that again. Claude, you sounding muffled. See if you can. I don't know if you got your headsets in, but it's not sounding clear. Say that again.
So we shouldn't have had a war. We shouldn't have had a World War I or II to get to a III.
That's a good point. I ain't never heard nobody say that before. That's a good point, though. That's an excellent point. Why? Once again, you be amazed to find out a lot of this is simply about money, making money. The annihilation of whole cities and countries and societies to make a profit, because it's big money in munitions and building tanks and bombs, all types of insanity. So I don't know, oh, you're a pacifist. Well, I guess so. I don't know. This life is not a video game. You can just kill a bunch of people, get a bunch of kills, and you get a prize. No, this is, you talking about taking real lives, real souls. You have to be held accountable for that. When I got drafted, that was just, that's just how it went down. Okay. You say so. What can you do, man? You can't win for losing. For losing. So, but I agree with you. Shouldn't have been a 1 and a 2. But that's how. But through technology and all of this insanity, they're able to fight wars worldwide now. That's a phenomenon that started in the 20th century and it continues, and it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible, because they got some weapons now. Oh my goodness, that they haven't even revealed in sci-fi movies yet. That are terrifying. They can just obliterate cities. And we didn't even talk. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop there. That's enough.
Stop there.
I've said enough. I've said enough. All right. So I want to thank y'all for those of you who watched the episode and hung in there with us. I want to thank you. And for those who will watch it later, well, thank you for tuning in. God bless you. And basically, that's it. If we, Lord willing, we may or may not get another episode in by the new year. If not, everybody have a happy new year. Be blessed, be safe. Lord willing, we'll all cross over. We can only hope with God's permission. And we will be back at you with another episode of The Truth Hurts. So once again, seek the truth. Fight for the truth. Don't take our words for it. Go out and do your own research and test what we're saying. But always remember, when you find the truth hurts. Claude, great job as always.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let's end on a good note. Always keep that in mind, that these things must pass, and that God will not abandon his people. So he's with us to the end. That's our assurance. So anyway, everybody take care. God bless you. And peace. Peace out.